All right, here we go. We're live. Awesome, JP. Thanks for doing this. Everyone's pretty stoked for this live demo of Monero. What exactly are you going to do?
I am going to demonstrate. Basically, I've got a chainnet up and running, and I will demonstrate. It's currently running. I've tested it. I've been testing it for the last month, so I'm going to tear it down and then redeploy it. It will go single node into a 7-node cluster, and then I'll demonstrate adding liquidity and swaps and everything you want to see.
Awesome. We can see ourselves on your screen. Can you move that to another screen? Okay. Oh, that's
Sure. Let me just get rid of this. All right. Does that work?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. Do we have the link to tweet?
To tweet what? You should be tagged. So it should pop up on your feed, this live stream.
Okay.
You want to repost it?
Okay, cool. All right. Quote. Going live now. Will demonstrate live XMR on THORChain mainnet. Okay, post. All right. Well, let's get into it.
Yep.
So, okay, guys, thanks for joining. I'll give you a quick little, as we go through this, I'm going to explain the nuances of Monero and how that works. I'll also bounce between a implementation document that describes all the nuances that's required in scan modes, managing inventory in the sidecar, solvency checking, gas handling, the Monero nuance, which is the 10 block lock. So Monero locks all UTXOs for 10 blocks and how THORChain will manage that. We can go through vaults, so the view keys, the pub keys, the birthdays, and why we do birthdays, TX keys, key images, and why we need to do all of that. We'll see live key gens and demonstrated through the terminal. We will do inbounds, observe them, finalize them, generate key images. Then we'll do outbounds. We can do various outbounds, but we'll do obviously starting with swaps, and we'll see the observation, the key signing, the observation, the transaction keys. I'll explain how we deal with change outputs in Monero. There's some nuances there. Consolidation, the plan for as the UTXOs grow in the vaults, how we will consolidate them and why we're actually doing that. Rescan mode, normal mode. I'll talk about the nuances of if you send your Monero to an old vault and an active vault, how the system will handle that. And finally, we'll dive into reorg handling. So this is a live network that I'm about to tear down. It has, as you can see, Monero running. It has 7 nodes.
We can't see your screen, JP, if you think you're sharing.
Oh, sorry. Let me quickly reshare my screen. Thanks for that. Okay, so this is a live chainnet with Monero running. You can see the gas rates. You can see the view key published. There are 7 nodes, 6 nodes churning in and out into 2 vaults. You can see we've got 2 Monero vaults, the 43 Monero with some funds on it already, and we've got 2 Asgard vaults running at the same time.
So
And
can I
also,
ask you quick, JP, just to clarify? This is ChainNet?
this is a private chainnet. So once this is all stable, I've been building this the last month. We will deploy this on the actual chainnet, do a bit more testing, and then it'll go out to mainnet. But I'm feeling very comfortable and confident, and I'll demonstrate live. And we shouldn't see any issues today. Fingers
But
crossed.
this is technically real money, real funds. This is
Real
live.
money, real funds.
Yeah. Okay.
So we'll get
Sorry.
into it. If you don't believe me, so we'll just do a quick balance check of my wallet. We'll spool that up there. And I'll just quickly do I've swapped the funds now. So, well, let's just get started. So tear down the cluster and redeploy, follow the script, explain each step as we go. All right, so what this is going to do is we'll see this network get ripped down. I've swept all the money off it back onto my wallet. So we'll go back to here. So I've got 5.8 Monero with 5 it unlocked on my actual wallet. I'm running a fork of Monero TS. I'll explain why I'm doing that. It's actually, I published it here under the THORChain GitHub. There is one small change that is needed for the wallet integrations, and that's specifically to add 255 bytes in a TX extra. And so we'll see a live TX extra on chain, and that's basically the memo. And it's very simple. Any wallet that wants to integrate Monero needs to, it's literally like 3 lines of code, as you can see here. Monero already supports 255 byte memos. I'm not sure if many people realize that. Okay, so I'm running a fork of Monero test in order to do this. But this is real money, and I'm going to show you on the block explorer here, which is Monero, a Monero block explorer. Actually, these transactions occur. Okay, so we've got the latest GitHub. We are removing the THORChain and Bifrost and the signer containers. So there's three servers per node specifically for Monero. There's obviously the THORChain node itself. They run a Bifrost, and then they run a Monero signer on the side. It's built in Rust because it runs the Frost signing engine for Monero on a bit of a sidecar. So the Monero Bifrost is authed into the Monero signer, and they talk to each other. In the Bitcoin and Ethereum Bifrost, because it's written in Go, so for Bitcoin and Ethereum, there is no separate sidecar. So this is a slight difference for Monero. Okay, so we're tearing it all down. The Monero daemon is separate. So I'm running a full Monero node on my cluster. It's fully synced to the blockchain. Instead of having 7 my nodes connected to 7 Monero daemons, I've just got 1 daemon, and I've got my 7 THORChain chainnet nodes talking to that. So if we go back, this will now error out. So I've killed the network, right? And we're spooling it back up. This will take about 5 to 10 minutes as we go along. In the meantime, let's get into my nodes here and explain a few things. So a Monero wallet looks a bit like this, right? Yeah, so this is, you don't really see anything. You don't see the amounts. You can see down here the dummy output. So one of these is the real output. So that's the actual destination. And this is a dummy. So it's like a decoy. Now, but you can't really see anything, right? And so this is the main thing to address here. The first thing we do is we create a view key. Now, a private view key allows you to see inbounds to a wallet. And I'll quickly explain how that works on THORChain. So for THORChain, we have a deterministic view key. It's literally the SHA-512 of THORChain view key. And it produces it, and it's always going to be this 416 fixed number. It is global. Every THORChain Monero vault will have this deterministic private view key. And what that means is for all THORChain vaults, Monero vaults, you will be able to see the inbounds, and you'll be able to see the amounts. So you can go, oh, we receive 1 Monero here, and we receive 1 Monero here, and we can basically count them up. So we've got 2 Monero in our wallet. But that's where the view key stops. You don't actually see any of the outbounds with the view key. To compute the outbounds for Monero, because we need to be able to audit what goes out from THORChain's vaults, we have to generate key images. So for every inbound to a THORChain vault, we will observe it, and then we'll kick off a key image ceremony. A key image ceremony is like a key signing ceremony. It requires 2/3 of the nodes to come on, and they generate a key image. And we will actually then store that key image, replicate it across all the nodes, and then store it on chain. And I'll show you actually where that lives on chain. Once you have a key image, then you can see in future if a key image is spent. So if I say to you, hey, Kenton, I've given you my view key. You can see I've received 2 Monero. And for each of these 2 inbounds, here are the key images for them. And then 10 blocks later, you see one of those key images are spent on chain. Then you can go, righto, the vault received +1 +1, and then it went -1. Does it make sense? So you can basically uh, mark that inbound as spent. And so the key images allow us to audit the solvency of the vaults. All you have to do is track the key images, see if they've been spent on chain, and at any point in time, you can add them all up and go, aha, this vault, it had 2 Monero, now it's only got 1. And that might be what you're expecting. If it's not what you're expecting, THORChain will kick off a solvency slash. And so this gets us up to a point where we can audit every Monero that's in the THORChain vaults. Okay, getting back to my deploy here. So we're now in the post deploy. We're now setting memers and we're creating 7 nodes right now. So if we go back to here, it should be live now. So there it is there. This here is not an actual vault. It's just a fake vault because it's the very first one. So if we go to our node set, so there they're all here. And notice they're all in standby. So standby, standby. One of them will be active. So if we find that active node now, active. Here you go. So this node is active. He was the Genesis node. And then we're going to churn and kick him out and bring in 6 new nodes. This strip is still going through. It's getting all the nodes ready. So it's, getting the node key, setting versions, bonding them. So you notice here that they all have a bond. So my script basically gives these 7 nodes 100,000 rune. It's fake chainnet rune. And now they're getting ready to bond in. So this will keep going a little bit longer. So you can see we want to get to a point where we have 6 active nodes and we have 2 vaults. So we're not far off it now. If you go into Vault Asgard, you can see here we've got nothing for Monero yet. This is the Genesis vault. Doesn't have any money on it. There's no funds, and it's not a true TSS vault because it's just a 1 of 1. Okay, so we'll keep monitoring that. Now I'll go back to my explanations here. So I've explained how with a deterministic view key we can see inbounds. And we kick off these key image ceremonies, propagate across all the nodes, store them on THORChain for auditability, and then we use those key images to track outbounds. This allows us to measure the balance on each vault. Lastly, we need, so THORChain has signing nodes and non-signing nodes. So with 100 nodes split over across 5 or 6 vaults, you're going to have 20 nodes signing and 80 nodes non-signing. So the signing nodes, and of the signing nodes, only 2/3 of them, so 15, will get together to sign. Whenever they sign, they create another thing called a transaction key. That transaction key, and you'll see it here, if you have the transaction key and the recipient address, we can basically decode it, right? So if I typed in, if I said, hey, Kenton, here's my Monero, and by the way, here's my TX private key, you, Kenton, will be able to type your address, the TX key, hit prove payment, and that will allow you to audit basically the address and the amount. So the transaction keys on THORChain are used for the non-signing nodes to validate that the signing nodes did exactly what they were supposed to do, and they didn't actually just send it to a random person or use a random amount. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So this is the audibility of THORChain. Notice how it doesn't expose anything to do with the user. It's just trying to bring auditability to THORChain's vaults, because if we don't know what's in the vaults, then the nodes can just steal, or it's just going to be disaster. So that's how we approach this. And when all this is done, this brings it up to the same level as how the Bitcoin Bifrost works. So we'll get back into our script. Okay, so we're now kicking off keygen. So we go into our node set. They're still in standby here. So the nodes are now going through a keygen process, and it's probably 2 or 3 minutes away. We will have the keygen done, and we're going to kick off the original node, the Genesis node. We're going to bring in these 6 active nodes, and we're going to generate 2 new vaults. So we'll keep managing that. Okay, so my wallet's ready. I've got 5.8 Monero ready to go. The network is coming online. This will be how we roll it out to mainnet. Essentially, one day it will have Monero, it won't have Monero, and the very next day it will have Monero, of the very next churn. So essentially kicking off a churn right now, just a little bit longer as we step through. Cool. So on this list here, I did say we have, so I talked about the scanning of inventory. One thing that's different with Monero is each node needs to scan all the Monero inbounds, key images, etc., in order to audit their own vault. So what we do for the Monero vaults is we record the birthday. The birthday is when we create the vault. And that means instead of doing a very heavy scan from Monero's Genesis like 8 years ago, we start the very heavy scan from the birthday forward. So if you have a Monero wallet, Cake Wallet, you see this kind of scanning process. It's scanning from your wallet's birthday going forward. So that's the other different thing with Monero is we're actually storing its birthday. Okay, we're still going through that script. So I talked about the scan inventory, how we're tracking key images, transaction keys, gas. Okay, so gas on Monero is actually quite difficult. The way we're going to approach it is we try to keep it as simple as possible. We've essentially going to hard code in this. Essentially, we're going to basically say that all Monero transactions on THORChain are 120,000 units of Monero. So 0.12 times Monero is $50. So 42 cents. So we're going to give every outgoing transaction on Monero 42 cents of gas. Realistically, most transactions are going to come in 10 times lower than us, so about 4 cents. And this is to try and just simplify it and keep it within something. Gas is very difficult. If your gas is too low, then transactions get locked up. If your gas is, so we're going to give, but Monero is quite cheap. So that's how we're going to approach gas. Essentially, like the nodes are given a budget, 120,000, which floats depending on the gas rate, and then the signers can use up to that gas budget, which is enough. I explained the 10-block lock. So all Monero outputs are locked for 10 blocks. What this means in practice is when an inbound goes to a THORChain vault, it's going to get locked up for 10 blocks. The signers know when it's locked, THORChain doesn't. So THORChain will just schedule these transactions, and the signers will go, I'm still locked. Talk to me again in 9 minutes, in 9 blocks. So there's a bit of logic to manage the 10 blocks. Getting back to, okay, so we have churned. We have, and we're going to check this live with you guys right now. We've got 6 nodes. We've got 2 Asgard vaults. Let's go check it out. So we'll go to the node view. So you can see now active. And if you go into Vaults Asgard, I'll refresh this. This is our very first TSS vault, this address here, and this is the second one here, the 44. So now we have done a successful Monero keygen. We've got 2 side-by-side Asgard vaults. On mainnet, we're going to have 5 side-by-side mainnet Monero vaults. And we're ready to go. So churning is halted because churning introduces some other crazy stuff. So let's just actually get into adding liquidity. So add 0.5 XMR and 500 Rune to each active vault. Because we have 2 active vaults, I want to fund both of them. So rather than just sending it to any amount addresses endpoint, I'm actually going to send money to each active vault. Wait until the XMR is mined, and then do the rune last. This is because for adding liquidity on Monero, you can identify the rune address, but you can't identify the XMR address. And so you have to actually add you add the rune for correction. You add the no, you add the rune first, and then you add the XMR second, and they will match up. So we're going to do this. Notice how I'm using Cloud and Codex here. The reason why it's so quick to do this is because of all the context I've given it and the skills that I've trained it in. So it knows where to get the vaults from, where to get them, what memos to use, etc. So that's why it's just flying through this. Okay, so we've got a real live Monero transaction here. It's going to wait 2 minutes. It's got the add liquidity. We can dump that transaction into a blockchain explorer and actually wait here. So no confirmations yet. So it's in the Monero blockchain. See this TX extra here? Let's decode it. We're expecting the memo to be add XMR, this memo here, add XMR C Thor. So let's actually decode that. I'll pull this up here, decode. So just decode it. So yeah, let's say it should decode. This is not encrypted. This is just it's hex into raw bytes. And Monero, it has a marker at the front, OX7. But the Monero Bifrost, there you go there.
Hey,
Add
hey.
XMR to the CTHOR. So
So
that
that's live.
on-chain memo,
This is live on the Monero blockchain right now. This happened in
yeah,
real life,
yes,
real time.
yeah. So all right, it takes 2 minutes. Confirmations are 0 so far. But what we can also do, and look, it's just going through and adding those transactions. But what I could do is let's just monitor as it confirms. So the Monero is on chain. It's got the right memo. Then signers should start seeing it, and then they will, like I was saying, it's an inbound. So if we go back to my little drawing here, we've got the view key, so we can see exactly how much I deposited and to where. So we can see what did I add? I added 0.5 XMR. Mined and initially, so okay, so there's 2 rounds of observations. The first round says, aha, we see something. The second round generates the key image and creates that. So if we put that in here, there it is there. So THORChain nodes have observed my XMR deposit. On Monero blockchain, it looks like that, right? 0, 0. There's nothing to see there. But THORChain has decoded it and it's gone, it's 0.5 XMR. It's decoded the memo. It paid this amount of gas and it's ready. It's not yet finalized, but these 6 nodes have all attested to it. So the next process, and it should take, I don't know, 30 seconds or 45 seconds, they need to generate a key image. Aha, we've done that now. So one of the Asgard vaults, the signing nodes, have now generated the key image 497 and have done a second round of observations to put that key image 497 into THORChain. So let's pull that up. And if we go into the vault view, we can start to see we should start to see the key images appearing under the vault. And where? Oh no. Okay. While I've got you here, you can see here the vault creation height XMR is this key here. So it was created at block height 367, 3.6 million. We have a pub key Frost. It's not a pub key EDDSA. That's for Solana. And so yeah, that's the Monero nuance there. Key. All right. So while we've got this going, I've got a balance checking script. So we'll do this, and I've also got a inventory check. So we're going to run a balance check over while that's going. In the meantime, okay, so both XMR transactions, we sent 0.5 to both. And now we're polling, and then we're going to add the rune, and then it should appear. So if we go to the pool, pull it up, we're waiting on the rune to appear. Okay, so we have seen, okay, so this is the live balance check. So on chain, in the sidecars, they've seen one XMR. It's not yet observed on THORChain because it's waiting for it's waiting for the rune to be added. So, okay, that's done. Send the rune to both vaults. Okay. All right. So that's going ahead now. So the thing with Monero is you got to be patient. Not only do you have to wait 20 minutes to 10 blocks for things to happen, but it also has to do these key image ceremonies. Okay, cool. The inbound asset. Okay, so the rune's dropped in, but it's not finalized. Let's have another look. Check the TX again. How's that finalized? Okay, so there is a Rota feature called a rescan mode. Essentially, what it does is it rescans. Let me just try. Okay, yeah. So adding liquidity needs to be done in the correct order. That's the other thing. So we'll have to make sure that wallets are doing adding XMR liquidity correctly because of the mismatch, because you can't identify where you're adding liquidity from. So it is, but if you need to send the rune first and then XMR later. So anyway, so we'll get going with that again.
But no one should be adding no one's gonna be adding liquidity to this pool because no yield, right? So we don't have to worry too much about that.
Yeah, you assume the treasury would have reset scan. Um, mm, mm. Okay, we're just going to reset the scanners.
We do have a question, JP. I don't know if it
Okay,
went down.
go for the question.
Will the 10 block Monero confirmation affect streaming swaps efficacy?
No, because Chad has recently written a feature that as soon as the deposit kicks off confirmation counting, so it's almost like a conf counting. The streaming swap starts, so it won't have any impact to users. To be honest, the only time a user may be impacted is if the whole vault is locked up because it's done a consolidation or a migration, and they have to wait 20 minutes. Does it make sense? So but that's one of the advantages of running multiple vaults at the same time, is what will happen is, let's just say one vault is locked, so this one here, then it will get, I think it's like 20 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes. THORChain will automatically schedule it to another vault. Because we got two active vaults, yeah, it will get rescheduled. So I don't think many people will be affected by this. I think, yeah, I think,
Isn't
yeah,
in
I
the
don't think,
10 block confirmation, that's like per UTXO, right? So if we've got
yeah,
hundreds of UTXOs that are old, it's only the new ones that are affected. These older ones have had 10, 20, 100 blocks already. They're good to go. So as long as we've got this inventory of UTXOs, we're fine, right? Um,
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. It's only on a per UTXO level. So if someone's trying to do a swap outbound and uh, the sidecar will smartly choose from the unlocked, the spendable balance. Um, if it's all locked, then it's going to get rescheduled to another vault, and then that vault will eventually unlock. But as you were saying, um, it's UTXO based. So as soon as one of those blocks get unlocked, then it'll get processed. Now,
we're only
uh,
doing one Asgard vault, I thought. We're not gonna have multiple.
I no, I'm pushing to. I don't agree with that. I think we should just keep with the Asgard vaults because you have 6 different vaults with different spendable states at the same time. Um, so I know why you'd want to do one vault. That's because you can skip the key image generation and because all the vaults are then all the nodes are then signers. But we don't know the scalability of Frost, Monero Frost up to 100 nodes. But I do know it works for like 20, 30 nodes. Makes sense. Um,
Well, it
yeah.
makes sense that you and Chad disagree. Feels like you guys gotta sort this out because, Chad's f what I hear, Chad, "Oh, no, we're doing one vault. This is happening, one vault," and you're saying we need multiple, so, it'd be great if you guys can get on the same page. Um,
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Look, well, right now we've got multiple vaults for Bitcoin and all the other chains. So I would say just keep multiple vaults. It kind of makes sense. If we moved the EC DSA TSS library to DKLS, then maybe we can do single vaults for sure. But yeah, I'll talk to Jack. I mean, this works. So
is
yeah,
is it
let's see.
something that, like, once we technically live on mainnet, can we try multiple vaults for a few weeks? Can we try one vault for a few weeks and just kinda see the behavior of both and kinda prove either one of you right? Or is it we have to choose one way and that's the way we're stuck with?
No, you can. Yeah, you can bounce between the two. I just think there's less moving parts to have. Well, okay, the implementation would be simpler for one vault, but we don't know if. So there we go. Here, it's got 2 outputs, um, 2 key images, spendable balance 0. So it's basically locked for 20 minutes while things get processed. No, we'll talk to Chad. We'll see. Okay, so the pool's created now, um, and it's got. Okay, cool. So it's all there. I just need to drop. I did 2 rounds, but do another 500 rune. All right. So that's the thing. So basically, uh, yeah, what happened is the nodes. The way we built this system is the system is eventually correct. You just got to be patient. Um, so I went ahead and added another 2 rounds of Monero waiting for it, but it's all going to get dropped in. All right. Anyway, let's go ahead and do a swap. So the pool's live. It's got half a Monero and 1,000 rune, and it's got 1.5 Monero pending, and I'm just dropping in another rune, and that should drop in any moment now. Okay, done. So now we got 2 Monero and 1.1500 rune. We can make a transaction. So let's go. So what do you want to do? Do you want a rune to Monero transaction or a Monero to rune transaction? What's more exciting? Let's do a 100 rune to XMRTX swap. There you go. Let's do the very first demo of a swap. It's going to work, guys. It's going to work. Just be a bit patient. Let's do another balance check. So we'll do a balance check of everything. Everything should agree, right? All these nodes here should have 2 Monero across the chain, the vault, and the pool. If it doesn't, something's gone wrong. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be fine. And we'll do another. We just did an inventory check. So while that's pulling up, okay. So 100 rune to XMR has been swapped. Destination back to my wallet. It's going to get, I don't know, 0.1 Monero. So let's go in and monitor this transaction. And let's pull it up here. So this was a Rune to Monero swap. Swap to Monero, 100 Rune, yeah. Hasn't been signed yet, but let's find out. What's going to happen is the you'll start to see these error logs saying, "Oh, my balance is locked," and it will hold off signing for 5 to 10 minutes, and then it will go. Okay, cool. All right, boom. So this is what we're seeing. Every node agrees that they have 2 Monero in their wallets. You can see it right there, right? So 6 of these nodes are active, and one of them is standby. This guy here, right? So even the standby node is converging to the correct on-chain balance. I mean, that's epic, right? And then 3 of these 7 nodes are in one vault, and the other 3 are in the other vault, but they're all agreeing they've got 2 Monero across signing nodes and non-signing nodes. Second thing is a vault on THORChain is correct, so it's matching the on-chain wallet. Now the pool has 1.8 Monero in the pool and 1.1 outside of the pool. Does it make sense? Because that's in the queue. That's literally this transaction I'm doing now. So it's the Thor to Rune Monero. It needs, so here we go here. It needs the 0.1 Monero. It's got total 1, locked is 1, and confirmations remaining 8. So sorry guys, we've got to wait 8 Monero blocks here, but that's okay. What's going to happen is the signers are essentially skipping. They'll skip for another 8 blocks. Now, if THORChain goes, "Oh, you're taking too long," it's actually going to reschedule it to the other vault. And the other vault might unlock first. Does that make sense? So, yeah, I guess we're waiting a bit longer. Any other questions while we're waiting for this Monero to go ahead?
You guys feel free to type your questions in the comments. Hard to hear me, Kenton?
Uh,
Um, hmm,
no
maybe if
worries.
I my volume down, maybe that'll be better.
Okay, so yeah, well, what we'll actually do is when we actually do the swap out, I'm going to put my address in here and the TX key. The nodes are going to, like I said here, they're going to generate the TX key when they sign the transaction. And that's going to allow us to see the address and the amount. And that transaction key will get stored literally in here. So anyone can see it. That's the thing, right? Is anyone can see, audit these vaults. I want to go down to here. It's now popped up, key images XMR. So for each vault, as we receive these inbounds, we're producing the key images. Like I said, a key image ceremony is like a key signing ceremony. And we're storing it on THORChain. And this key image allows you to audit this. So everything's auditable. We've got the key images, we've got the view key down here for all vaults. And soon when we sign it, you'll see the TX keys here. And yeah, that
So
allows us to, yeah, go ahead.
so I think this is one thing 'cause, that I think some people get a bit confused on. By adding Monero to THORChain, that doesn't mean THORChain becomes more private or has more privacy. THORChain is actually bringing more publicity to the Monero transactions that occur on THORChain. Everything on THORChain is very public, auditable, like you said. Anything that's happening privately, any privacy thing that's happening, you'd have to do it on the actual Monero chain. You'd have to go do stuff on Monero. Everything on THORChain is public and viewable and trackable, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Because we're um, normal Monero wallets would never give you uh, publicly expose the view keys. Just, I mean, go ask one of the exchanges. What's your Monero private view key? they're going to say fuck off. But THORChain goes, no worries. It's not just a view key; it's a deterministic view key. You can literally compute it yourself. It's like it's the SHA of literally THORChain view key, and so that allows anyone to, like I said, see the inbounds to the vaults and the amounts. And the key images allow us to audit which ones get spent, and then the transaction keys allow us to audit all the outgoings. So for most, literally, if you pull up THORChain.net, like every detail that you see in a swap transaction, everything. So if I pull up this one here, um, everything is going to be like everything's going to be here. Like there'll be nothing that's not decoded. Like THORChain actually honestly doesn't know that Monero is a privacy chain. THORChain thinks Monero is just is like literally Bitcoin. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yep. We got another question here. I'll show it. I'm really interested in how this will work. How this will work. Mer- Sorry, will merge with the full ring signature upgrade. Um,
No, it should be automatic. There'll probably just be an upstream update, but nothing will change.
okay.
Yeah. Um,
We're just still
yeah.
waiting. We're
So
still waiting 8 more confirmations.
yeah. So let's
This is a lot of eye contact, JP. We gotta think of something else to talk about.
yeah. Confirmation. So 5 blocks to go. Not much longer. Okay. So did I go through everything? So let's just go through it again. I've talked about keygens. Oh, this is the other thing is when the nodes produce the Frost key shares, they will actually, and this is the same for ECDC and EDC, but they will actually store the key shares encrypted on THORChain so that if anything happens, the protocol actually has the key share backups. All the nodes need to do is they need to remember the passphrase for the nodes, which is the 24-word phrase. That 24-word phrase allows them to decrypt all the key shares. So yeah, it's pretty bulletproof. So that's pretty good. And like I said, birthday is saved on chain. I've showed you where it is. We've
JP,
spoken about.
we get another question if you want to add it,
Yeah,
jump
go.
in. Does visibility of transaction mean THORChain is not going to be laundry and will all be visible? Money laundering. I think I
Um,
kind of answered this before. So everything's visible on. Let me see here. I mean, the transaction information on the blockchain.
yeah, everything's
Everything's
going to be on
visible.
chain.
Yeah.
Like the memos are literally stored there. So whatever transaction I did before, that's hex encoded. It literally is the transaction. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Oh, here's the other thing. While it's got some developers on the channel, is change. So uh, all Monero transactions require 2 outputs. You cannot do a single output Monero transaction, and this was something I discovered along the testing. And that's because if you just do a single output, you don't have any dummy outputs. Does that make sense? So people know exactly where you went. It went from there to there. Whereas what's actually happening is only one of these is the THORChain vault. The other one is just some other person's random public key from a set of 16. Now, this is a little bit annoying because um, we do a lot of change. We do consolidations. We do migrations. So what actually, the cheat here is we just do a 0 output change. And there's 2 cases for consolidation. And we go from, I'm going to propose 10 to 5. The reason why I'm proposing 10 down to 5 is because the gas fee just blows up. And if you have, and the gas accounting just becomes a nightmare. So if you have like 40, if you're trying to consolidate 40-year TXOs, it's going to be 40 times the gas, basically 40 times the gas of a normal transaction. And THORChain has a pretty simple gas accounting. So we want to keep it manageable. And also trying to sign 40 UTXOs down is basically going to take 40 times the key signing length. So we consolidate regularly, and this is true for Bitcoin and the other UTXO chains. We consolidate regularly to make sure that we have a bounded key signing and gas cost ceiling. The second output is always zero amount, and we basically see that it's zero, and we know it's zero because we've got the key image, we got the view keys and the TX keys, and we just ignore it. So Monero has zero output changes when we don't want to do a change. Second thing is I built a rescan mode. So every node sidecar, if it gets corrupted, you can just fire this rescan endpoint, and it will download. It'll basically go through all the vaults on THORChain. It will download the addresses. It will download the birthdays, and it will download all the key images and the view key, and it will rebuild the sidecar inventory. So it will basically converge to where we were here before, even if a sidecar gets corrupted. And that's because we have this extra sidecar, the Rust sidecar. So that's why we do that. And rescan is just like, can you please repair my inventory? And I've tested this ad nauseum. It's pretty good. It replays everything and gets all the scanners back up to tip with a new uncorrupted state. The work stream is that if it's at the tip, it will find the inbounds and spent key images on chain, and then commit them in the sidecar, try to marry them up and find the spent ones. And then and then process the key signing and the key image generation. Okay, old vault refunds. If you send your Monero to an inactive vault without a change address, a refund address, we can't actually refund you. So instead, rather than abandoning, if you send your Bitcoin to an inactive vault on THORChain, it will refund you. Not sure if people know that. That's because it churns regularly, right? And some routers and wallets have in past cached the old vaults, so we have this refund process from Monero. Because if you don't know where to refund you, what we do is we send them to the new vault. So basically, it just sends straight to the new vault, and then it gets added to the balance of the new vault, but it doesn't get added to the pool. So what it means is it's ready if the treasury, if someone comes to THORChain community and say, hey, I've sent some 100 XMR to an old vault, didn't get refunded, then it's probably going to be contributed to the latest vault. And then I don't know, it's up to Chad and the team if they want to do a manual refund, but the money will be there. Does that make sense?
How will that person be able to prove it was them, that it came from them?
Well,
Like, could
that's
somebody gain the system and see that, oh, you've got some extra, you have 100 extra XMR there. Oh, that's mine. I lost it.
um, the only way they can prove it is they'll need to give us the TX private key from the wallet and hit prove payment, and we'll be able to see actually no, it was your transaction, and
Okay.
so they can prove it. They just need to get the TX key. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Um,
But then would we
Reorg,
see all of the transactions in that person's on that address for that
no,
wallet? So they just that
just that
single
transaction.
transaction. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
All right, where we're at? Where was I? Status. Okay. We should be done now. And what else have I got to here?
I got a,
Reorgs. Yeah,
okay,
go.
good. I have another question
Oh,
here.
go.
Um, this is from Slambammer. Will sidecar rebuilds not become more and more intensive the longer Monero is active?
Uh, you can rebuild a sidecar on just some vaults or all the vaults. In fact, the nodes don't really care about the historical vaults. They just really care about the active vaults. That makes sense. Like, so the nodes will just rescan maybe just like the previous 2 or 3 inactive vaults and the active vault. So no, it's not going to be unbounded. That makes sense. Um,
Slime Bammer, you're welcome
o-
to join us. Come on stage if you want, if you ask more questions.
on a
Um,
reorg, we just basically undo the transaction and we remove the key image for it. Okay. All right, guys, we're done. It got while I was talking, it got done. So if we go back to transaction, so this is my 100 rune to XMR swap to my wallet. It got done. So let's pull this up, and there's the TX key, right? So I actually haven't done this. So let's actually see. So if I put this transaction in here, there it is there. So this is the outbound memo. So let's decode that. That should say out blah blah blah. But let's verify this. And while we're waiting on that, let's go and get my address, which is this one here. Recipient's Monero address and the TX key. I haven't done this, so let's see. Boom. Guys, it fucking works. I love it when a plan comes together. First of all, the outbound memo is correct. Second of all, I grabbed the TX
I
key
mean,
and my
slow down a
recipient
bit,
address.
please, JP, for us to catch up.
So this is hardcore fucking Monero, but it fucking worked. This is my recipient address. This is the transaction key that was created by the nodes to audit that outgoing. They then, remember, there's 7 nodes. Only 3 of them produced that TX key. Let's say actually only 2 of them did, because it's a 2 out of 3. Let's say it was these 2 nodes that produced that signed that transaction, produced that TX key. They correctly propagated that TX key to all the other nodes, who then literally just did what I did there and verified the amount was correct. And then they went, okay, this transaction is valid. It goes to the correct person. And then they also witnessed that into THORChain, got consensus, and stuck it there. And then I, the user, took the transaction key, took my recipient address, put it into this online tool, and I have successfully proved that I receive my Monero from THORChain.
Wow. So this
This is the swap. This is
this
a
is the swap,
THORChain
and this
swap.
is what's taken us years to figure out, is to get to this point. Um,
Correct. I mean, I'm so proud of everyone who's helped us get it. It's like, it fucking works. This was a Rune-to-Monero swap done by 7 nodes, 7 churning nodes in a decentralized fashion. They produced all the key images, the signing, the key gens, the TX keys, and they did a swap. And I'm about to audit my balances, and I'll audit my inventory again. We're good. That's it. We got Monero swaps, boys.
all right, we got another question here from Slime Bammer. In the event that one of the signing nodes fails or goes offline or whatever happens, do other nodes on the same vault step in to sign?
Yeah. So that's the whole beauty of THORChain. Let's just say Dog and Whale got told to sign it, but for some reason Dog was offline. Whale will go, Dog's not reachable, and fail out. And then I think it's like 20, 30 minutes later, the network reschedules it, and it now makes Whale the leader and tells Eagle to join. And then they go ahead and do the transaction. So that the system is tolerant for 1/3 of the nodes to come offline per vault. Now, the second thing is, well, I got
So
you
that's
here.
true of all this is true of all tokens, not just Monero. This is how
Yeah,
all
yeah.
transactions work.
And the second thing I'm really proud of is I don't think you guys realize how hard it was to get this all working across all nodes all the time. So what's actually happened here is we started with 2Monero, we did an outbound swap, and everything agrees. So the gas accounting was correct. Everything worked across signing nodes, non-signing nodes, and even standby nodes. Everything matches across the actual wallet and THORChain's pool. So I'm super proud. And look, like everything's there. One vault's got two outputs, two key images. This is a little bit stale actually. That should be one text key. But yeah, it's all there.
That's awesome.
Now, now you go, well, I don't believe you, JP. Do unhalt churning. So we got unhalt churning. If you guys want to drop off, you can. Basically, this is Monero swaps, right? It's done. I'll do a few more things with you. I'll demonstrate churning live now with real funds. If you want to hang around, we could do a consolidation
Yeah.
transaction so we can.
Yeah, go as long as you
Um,
want, man.
okay. So, all right. We're going to unhalt churning. So churning is currently halted. To unhalt churning, we need to get all the nodes to vote to unhalt. And then we're going to kick off the migrations, generate two new vaults, move the money over, make sure the gas accounting is all correct. We're doing we got to handle 10 block blocks. We've got to handle the gas. We've got to handle zero amount dummy outputs. There's a lot of stuff to handle here. We've got to do the key images for the change outputs. We've got to do the key images for the new inbounds. We've got to generate TX keys. Like there's a lot going on here. But yeah, let's go. So let's go ahead doing that. Oh man, I'm so happy. It all works.
Maybe,
Cameron, give me some harder questions.
uh, well, I asked Slam Bammer is a node operator. I asked him to come up. You're welcome to come up, Slam Bammer, to join the stage and ask JP directly. I don't have any harder questions, JP. I do have, maybe it's hard. I don't know. How much, like with Luke Parker, how much did he contribute to this? We should give him a shout out and say thank you for the code, what he worked. Because a lot of what he did is we forked a lot of his work, right? Like this wouldn't be possible with what he's done. So maybe we should give him a shout out. Um, is yeah, could we have done this without the work he's done, basically?
No, 100%. So Luke kicked off Sarai, and he's a Monero core dev. So he built a true TSS for Monero called Sarai Frost Signer, and we basically forked that. And he also built a Rust-based Monero client, which we use called Monero Oxide. And I'm about to show you how much we use it, but we 100%. This uses basically all of Luke's codes. So the XMR Frost Signer depends on the Sarai DKG Frost stack. And Luke wrote this code, DKG PedPop, the Dalek FF Group, Cypher Suite, Modular Frost. We depend on Monero Oxide, which is a Rust-based Monero wallet, and the Monero generators and the RPC. So basically, Sarai is used for the threshold key material and signing rounds. It's a 3-round process. So round 1 creates commitments, round 2, round 3 computes, and then we finally finalize the Frost key shares. So we use all that code. And then we use for all Monero Oxide for all the wallet stuffs. So, how do we derive the spend keys, the view keys, the vault addresses? We use it to build transactions, etc. Load the tracked outputs, select inputs, pick decoys, compute fees. So all of the heavy lifting Monero stuff runs on Monero Oxide. And then we basically sign it using the Sarai signer. And then that gets the whole sidecar then is like a servant to our Monero Bifrost. So our Monero Bifrost, so the sidecar sits on the side and it just stands by ready. And our Bifrost says, hey, you need a keygen. And then it goes and keygens and returns that. Then it says, hey, you need to key sign. And goes and you need to key sign with this address and this amount. It goes and does that. That makes sense. So all of the Monero stuff is based on Luke's work. We just kind of plumbed it into THORChain's semantics.
And that's where Boone came in. Boone figured out how to use his work and adapt it to THORChain. And
Yeah.
so I've seen some criticisms online. People are like, well, it's vibe coded,
Oh, it's
so
all
be
vibe. It's
careful, it's
100% vibe
not going to
coded.
work, blah blah blah. Do you have any comments on that?
Oh, I mean, GPT 5.5 medium is pretty good. We can go extra high. Speed, fast, increased plan usage. Yeah. I mean, it's like what I'm doing here with like basically it took us like a year to just build our Bitcoin Bifrost, right? It has taken to go from a conceptual idea to actually having something working. And I remember those early days. Every day, every week, we were just bumping into UTXO this and gas this, and this node didn't respond and this one did. Whereas look at me now, like I'm using like to do this 5 years ago, like this like took a week. Well, it took a year to do the whole thing, but I'm just literally, I'm using AI to just do it way faster. So the whole spooling up the chain that you saw me do an hour ago was all done through these AI powered scripts. And I use the AI to, to basically crawl through all these, each node spits out all these logs, right? So back in the day, we were just sitting here, like grabbing through these logs, going, fuck, why did it fail? Like, what the hell? What is this log, right? And there's just logs upon logs upon logs because remember, we're dealing with 100 nodes on this decentralized network, right? But it's just logs after logs. Whereas AI can direct through these logs 100 times faster than a human can, um, spool up scripts, do things. I have to tell you that the AI is like, you have to really handhold it. It's like trying to juggle with like 10 juggling sticks in the air. And then like you drop one and suddenly the whole thing crashes down. And you really have to watch it. So you can see my flow here. I have one conversation on just one part of the stack. And then, I teach my AI these skills, like how to do these transactions. Like back in the day, we would have to write all these scripts ourselves. Like just to do this, what you saw me, I just literally said add liquidity and I went and add liquidity because I taught it how to, right? That would take so long. But now I teach it a skill and it does right in front of me. So,
So
but
the code that Boone came up with, I mean, it's still people still had to look at it, make sure it worked, and then it's basically it either works or it doesn't. It doesn't matter if a human wrote it or a machine wrote it. It works, right? It's just code, right? And so that's what you guys have been doing these last few months is testing it, making sure it works, and so it might have started as vibe coded, but at the end, it's still human approved. It's still like human reviewed.
yeah, 100%. Let's see. Euro. Yeah, 100%. The chaining's kicked off. And all of this, like the code only works if it's correct. Like the second, if it didn't work, then you would not see these correct numbers. That makes sense. Like
Yeah,
the gas would be wrong.
yeah.
The you know, and like the next stage is I've demonstrated it live on a live stream, and so far I haven't seen any bugs yet. I've been working
Yeah.
on this for a couple of weeks now, a month,
And
and
there could be bugs or issues if still it's possible, and it could be bugs or issues if a human wrote all of the code, right? It's still no different whether a human writes it or AI writes it, right? Um,
yeah, exactly. So okay, so uh we've kicked off churn. So what's happened is if we go back to here, so now the old vaults are retiring. Okay, so we should see two retiring vaults and two active vaults. So there's the two old retiring vaults, and now this is the new vault. It's already got half its money. Okay, so I'll explain how it's working. So what's actually happening right now is we do multiple migration rounds. So we took the money from the old vaults, and now we're now moving it to the new vaults. We've already keygened, and we're doing it in 2 rounds. So we've already done half of this while I was talking. The other 2 transactions still in flight. So you can see here, this is the remainder. Um, and so it's still in the outbound queue and still needs to be signed. It'll get signed shortly. Um, yeah, and so if we do a balance check now, old and new vaults. Yeah, I mean, this is really hard. Like just the fact, like I was saying, if it keygens, it churns, key signs, it handles the refunds, it handles 10 block blocks, it handles gas variability. If everything works, and it like the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write a script. Basically takes all the Monero I got in this wallet, and it does for like the next 2 weeks churning every day. I'm just going to have a script that just does send as many transactions as you want back and forth. Just do everything you want. Wrong memos, bad memos, old vault refunds, high gas, low gas. Does it make sense? So I'm going to stress test this network with all this Monero. And if it emerges in a couple of weeks and it still has solvency, it still has the nodes running. I I mean, if bugs pop up, we'll try and fix them.
Yeah.
And yeah, but and once the bugs looks like they're slowing down and it looks pretty stable, then it's mainnet time. But like we could launch this on mainnet tomorrow. It just how confident are we that we're not going to hit a bug?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
So it's
We
just a matter
do
of testing.
we do have another question. Does the sidecar implementation increase the potential attack surface for the protocol?
Good question. So the way that the sidecars explain how the sidecar is authed to the Bifrost. Um, so the sidecar is a separate, essentially server or like a sub process on the Thor node. It's like a separate box. It's got its own API, and it's authed, and it's authed with the seed phrase of uh, the Thor node. If someone in the some Thor node operator opened up a port on the sidecar, if it wasn't authed, then someone could reach into that port and pull out the Frost key shares to that node. Make sense? So we don't just rely on config to keep the Frost sidecars safe. We actually basically lock the sidecar to the Bifrost, not just by shutting down ports, but by authing all queries in. Does that make sense? And we do that with the Sana seed phrase. The reason why we chose the Sana seed phrase and not something separate is because every node will have the Sana seed phrase. Um, where I'll talk to Chad about it. We can not use the Sana seed phrase. We can use a different environment secret. But the problem is if the node loses the sidecar secret, then they will no longer be able to access the sidecar, let alone anyone. But that's okay because the Frost, if we've keygened, that sidecar has already put the Frost key share on chain. So technically, if a node blows up the sidecar and loses a sidecar secret, they will still be able to recover. So that's the limitation there. Cool. Okay, so we're just waiting on these last 2 migration transactions to go ahead, and migration. And I think I've shown you everything.
Maybe we go back to your balances, just your balances tab there on the left, just to recap. So we started originally with 2 Monero in the pool, and then
Yep.
you bought point was it 11 Monero? You sold 100 Rune to buy point 0.11
Yep.
Monero or something. And now
Hmm.
we're left with how many Monero in the pool? Uh,
1.88.
1.88. All right. So we
And those funds are split across the old vaults and the new vaults. Basically half has gone across. So yeah, it all works.
So I remember, did you try to join? I saw you pop up and then you disappeared pretty quick. Um,
Yeah, I think I'm here.
oh, there you go. Right on. Welcome, buddy. The floor, the stage
Welcome.
is yours. So fire away.
Oh, I mean, I've been typing the questions that I have as they come. It is a really interesting implementation, as you said, JP. There's obviously a lot more complexity than the other chains with how secretive Monero is, and it's really interesting to see how it's implemented. So yeah, cheers for the demo.
No worries. Thanks. Cool. So all that's left now is a lot more testing and stress testing. Um, do that. I mean, yeah, it's just writing scripts, but everything works. Migrations, key gens, key signings,
Okay, so this
consolidation.
is on your own personal JP chain net, right? What about on the official THORChain chain net? Like, are you playing with that as well?
Yeah. So once I'm happy, I'm super happy with this, and I'm not generating any more bugs, and I've stress tested it. Then it's just a matter of working with Bone and Chad and Diesel to converge on the final implementation, merging that in, and then deploying it on ChainNet. But I mean, the actual ChainNet is exactly like my ChainNet. It's just
Okay.
a bunch of nodes. Like it's the same thing, right?
Okay.
Anyone can
Okay.
just pull up a ChainNet. And then, well, then it's just a matter of getting it on ChainNet and StageNet, getting a bit more confidence. Then we will roll
Wait
it
a
out
sec, we
onto
don't have.
mainnet.
I thought we don't have StageNet anymore. I thought it was replaced with ChainNet.
Yeah, it's used for different things. I think Chad's going to keep StageNet as a canary for new builds because it's most like mainnet, and we're going to use the other chain net. I mean, because it's so easy to pull up a chain net, you could even just do like I've been doing. Whoever's building in the next chain client, just run your own chain net. Like this is all just running on a Hertzner cloud API on. I mean, it's like it's costing me $10 a month to run my chain net here, and that includes 7 THORChain nodes and a full Monero daemon, right? So I'm thinking we should just tear down ChainNet. We'll keep StageNet as a canary for mainnet, but for adding new chain clients is exactly what I'm doing here. Just whoever wants to build a chain client, get a Hetzner API key, clone all my scripts, and away you go. And you just grind it down like I've been doing.
So
And then
this
as
is
soon as it's
something.
ready, yeah,
If we're talking to a new protocol to get have their token launch on THORChain, this is what we should tell them to do. Hey guys, get your own chainnet going, play with the code, get it working. Help us do it. Like this has been our pitch to try and get new layer ones to join THORChain. Is like we want to have you, but you have to do the work to get your token listed. So this is what they can do, right?
yeah. I mean, a lot of this like does require a fair bit of THORChain understanding. Um, like how, I'm not confident a new developer would easily do it, but if they took look, it's possible with API to get onboarded a lot faster than it used to. Um, yeah, it's possible. I think we should push them into hey, pull up your own chain net and let us know when you've achieved key gen, key signing, solvency checking, gas handling, and then we'll come check your chain net. Like anyone can kill you're right now. Right, it's public. You can screenshot that and type in your browser, and you can literally see my chain net. So we should say to them, hey, go split up your own chain net. We'll come in and inspect it when we think it's ready. We'll test it ourselves. If there's any bugs, uh, we'll ask you to resubmit. But it's pretty easy. Like you should just better point your
Yeah, because
codex at it.
well, so as far as I'm concerned, there are devs out there who would be willing to do that. And that adds to the intellectual capital of THORChain because just like you said, they'll have to learn THORChain to get it done. And, who knows, maybe that one or two of those people actually end up contributing a lot more to THORChain than just adding their protocol. So, I would love to give people the tools to self actualize, right? Um,
100%. I mean, the Monero integration is by far the hardest. Like if you, yeah, it's not actually that difficult for a non-privacy chain to do this. You just need to, there's like a list of 5 things that you need to do.
yeah.
And
We had, oh, sorry, go ahead, JP.
yeah, yeah, I mean, you can delete half this list basically and say, hey, and I'll be willing to help them, point them in the right direction.
Okay. We had Juan join us on the stage here. Juan, do you have a question for JP about Monero? Juan, you there? You're muted.
Yep. Yeah, I was just wondering with the FCMP upgrade coming to Monero hard fork, they are adding Carrot which is giving a fully audible wallet with incoming and outgoing view keys. Is a keygen still going to be necessary after that?
Yeah, I've looked into this. I think when Monero, yeah, I'm pretty sure the Sarai team, Luke and the Monero Oxide, they're going to upgrade as well. And so we'll just inherit all that work, and it should just work out of the box. The whole idea with the full chain membership proofs plus is it literally is everything still works. Your wallets need to upgrade to the new transaction payloads, but so what we'll do is we'll probably pause Monero on THORChain during the upgrade our Monero Oxide and our Sarai signer, and then unpause and away we go. That makes sense? So
Yeah,
it should be plug and play. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was just wondering if it's going to change, if you guys are going to have to change anything on the back end with the keygen and, with the hard fork coming, if you guys are going to be down for a considerable amount of time, or if you guys are going to keep going with the code you have. But sounds like you guys are just going to keep going.
Yeah. That's correct. Cool, guys. Well, I think my migration all happened okay. So I think I'll wrap up here. But yeah, Monero is fully working. Now it's just on chainnet. Now it's just a matter of stressing it a bit more, getting it on mainnet, and then handling the Monero upgrade in a few month.
So
But
just
yeah,
to
this is
recap that, because everyone keeps asking, when is live? When are we trading? And it's like JP said, we could go live with this on THORChain, but we don't want to because we need to test it. We need to iron out bugs so that when we're officially live, hopefully we've reduced all those bugs so that it's production ready.
yeah, when we're super confident, there's no show-stopping bugs that will call. You don't want to be launching it and then every second day you have to pause Monero trading, fix this bug, redeploy. Like we want it pretty stable. So it's still another weekend or two of stress testing and validating that.
And just to remind people, when we do go live, there could still be more issues, right? And that's why we do a guarded launch. We go slow. The pools are small. Just do small trades. Don't get crazy. It could be a good few months before Monero is like really, really done. Like it's been fully baked.
Yep, 100%.
Mm. Awesome. Juan, did you have anything? Did you want to add or say? Maybe we can wrap it up.
Nope, I'm just excited for this change and what it brings to Monero, having another option for fully DEX service.
100%.
Amazing. Yeah, I agree.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you. Thanks, JP, for doing this. If you ever want to do it again, let us know. We'll sort it out. We'll make it happen. Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. All
Appreciate your
right.
time.
Everybody. Thank you, everybody.